Nothing can be loved or hated unless it is first understood. Study without desire spoils the memory, and it retains nothing that it takes in. The painter has the universe in his mind and hands. I love those who can smile in trouble. As a well-spent day brings happy sleep, so life well used brings happy death. The greatest deception men suffer is from their own opinions. There are three classes of people: those who see when they are shown, those who do not see. Learning is the only thing the mind never exhausts, never fears, and never regrets. He who loves practice without theory is like the sailor who boards ship without a rudder and compass and never knows where he may cast. Art is the queen of all sciences, communicating knowledge to all the generations of the world. Marriage is like putting your hand into a bag of snakes in the hope of pulling out an eel. Truth at last cannot be hidden. Dissimulation is of no avail. Dissimulation is to no purpose before so great a judge. Falsehood puts on a mask. Nothing is hidden under the sun. Men of lofty genius when they are doing the least work are most active. The worst evil which can befall the artist is that his work should appear good in his own eyes. Truly man is the king of beasts, for his brutality exceeds them. We live by the death of others. We are burial places. Man has much power of discourse which for the most part is vain and false. Animals have but little, but it is useful and true, and a small truth is better than a great lie. Those who, in debate, appeal to their qualifications, argue from memory, not from understanding. It is an acknowledged fact that we perceive errors in the work of others more readily than in our own. The eye sees a thing more clearly in dreams, than the imagination awake. Men fight wars and destroy everything around them. The earth should open and swallow them up. He who does not value life does not deserve it. Never destroy another life through rage, or through malice. A wave is never found alone, but is mingled with the other waves. The organ of perception acts more readily than judgment. The men of experiment are like the ant, they only collect and use. But the bee gathers its materials from the flowers of the garden and of the field, but transforms and digests it by a power of its own. The painter who draws merely by practice and by eye, without any reason, is like a mirror which copies everything placed in front of it without being conscious of their existence. The eye which turns from a white object in the light of the sun and goes into a less fully lighted place will see everything as dark. Lies don't solve problems, it just make it worse, so liars beware. You can have no dominion greater or less than that over yourself. Painting is mute poetry, and poetry is blind painting. The air moves like a river and carries the clouds with it, just as running water carries all the things that float upon it. A beautiful body perishes, but a work of art dies not. There is nothing which deceives us as much as our own judgment. Art is never finished, only abandoned. Painting is poetry which is seen and not heard, and poetry is a painting which is heard but not seen. It's not enough that you believe what you see. You must also understand what you see. The water you touch in a river is the last of that which has passed, and the first of that which is coming. Thus it is with time present. Where the spirit does not work with the hand, there is no art. Nature is the source of all true knowledge. She has her own logic, her own laws. She has no effect without cause nor invention without necessity. I expose to men the origin of their first, and perhaps second, reason for existing. We do not lack devices for measuring these miserable days of ours, in which it should be our pleasure that they be not frittered away without leaving behind any memory of ourselves in the mind of men. I know that there are numberless people who would, to satisfy a whim, destroy God and all the universe. Human subtlety will never devise an invention more beautiful, more simple or more direct than does nature, because in her inventions nothing is lacking, and nothing is superfluous. Nature never breaks her own laws. Mathematics, such as appertain to painting, are necessary to the painter, also the absence of companions who are alien to his studies. His brain must be versatile and susceptible to the variety of objects which it encounters, and free from distracting cares. Though I may not, like them, be able to quote other authors, I shall rely on that which is much greater and more worthy, on experience, the mistress of their masters. For I know that there are numberless people who, in order to gratify one of their appetites, would destroy God and the whole of the universe. If this art has never remained among men, although so necessary to them, it never existed, and never will exist. As a day well spent makes sleep seem pleasant, so a life well employed makes death pleasant. A life well spent is long. Men do wrong to lament the flight of time, complaining that it passes too quickly and failing to perceive that its period is sufficiently long, but a good memory, with which nature has endowed us, causes everything that is long past to appear to us to be present. Certainly it seems that nature desires to exterminate the human race, as a thing useless to the world, and the destroyer of all created things. Many have made a trade of delusions and false miracles, deceiving the stupid multitude. Blinding ignorance does mislead us. Oh, wretched mortals, open your eyes. People of accomplishments rarely sit back and let things happen to them. They go out and happen to things. The instant does not have time, and time is made from the movement of the instant. A painter without a brush is like a weasel without a tongue.